So Neela, what are you seeing? Attention is obviously a focus of Teads right now, and much of the industry. The industry is also going through this big currency change. How do those two things come together, or well, or not?
I think that there is real opportunity to think about the role of attention relative to currency and how it is we explore the kinds of currencies that we should pursue. And I think that the work that we've done is specifically focused on the validation of attention as a metric, a measure, and in a future state, potentially a currency relative to outcomes. And when we think about the transition of media currencies, that's the critical piece here. How it is that the measures that we have in place have a connection to an end business outcome for brands.
Is that from the digital perspective, is it going to be challenging to kind of undo this years of infrastructure built around buying impressions and banners and those kind of things, when attention seems to be what really moves the needle?
I think whenever there's change, there's always a little bit of challenge. You know, we have to think through how operationally we make those kinds of transitions. It's interesting, you know, that's actually been one of the core focuses of some of the work that we've done. We wanted to validate not only that as a measure it did have that connection to outcome, but it was something that could actually be really operational, because we want to make sure that it's something that can be leveraged, a lever that can be pulled in market before you make that complete transition. So we have done some work in that space. We've seen some really good results. When you do actually operationalize against attention, we've been able to generate something like 20% uplift against attention. So it is a lever that can be pulled. But that being said, when you have an entire industry built around a certain metric, of course there's going to be some transition when we think about validation of currency, validation of methodology, and how we make the right choices to build infrastructure around a new, better metric that really speaks to media quality.
Getting back to video, your core product, can you talk about the agency POV of activating through one platform when buying video and why that's important?
Sure. When we think about media buying overall, we know that consumers are consuming media holistically. So when we have a media platform that enables agencies, brands to buy media from an omni-channel perspective, we're able to put together an overall media mix that can deliver, again, on this notion of outcomes for a brand. And we do offer that in a single place.
What's holding the industry back, if anything, of having a more video-centric way of operating?
I think some of it is exactly what you just mentioned before, kind of the way that we've been structurally organized historically and how it is we build infrastructure that does put video at the epicenter of the way that we work.
Lastly, can you just talk about the importance of context and the potential that you see there with video, where that has not been a traditional measure or way of buying?
Yeah, when we think about context in particular, as the cookie continues to deprecate, we need to think about what our toolkit is in a cookieless world. And context really does provide a valid way forward in a cookieless world to how it is we think about targeting, how it is we think about buying media. And so I think that that's the real role of context, and the value that it provides is a solution as we move away from some of the things that have stood things up historically.